Hey, it's me, Puppet DM, and I'm here to tell you all about the sponsors we have here at the Wandering Society. We're sponsored here by Mage and Press, makers of a bunch of 5th edition supplements, like the Book of Kobolds or their series of new classes. And don't forget, Arcmada, the amazing sci-fi fantasy campaign setting for the world's greatest role-playing game. Be sure to check them out at store.mageandpress.com. Up next, we have Roll20. It's the platform we use here at the Wandering Society to play all of our games. It's easy to use, intuitive, and it now comes with dark mode. Be sure to check them out at roll20.net. We're also sponsored by Art Talsorian Games. Art Talsorian Games make great RPGs, and they've been doing so since the early 90s. Check their books. They've got Cyberpunk Red, which Simon tells me has been played here extensively, Castle Falkenstein, which also has been played here, and The Witcher, which has also been. Okay, we get it! Check them out at your FLGS or online at rtalsoriangames.com. Have you ever wanted to wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now you can with this next sponsor, Found Familiar. Get yourself some damn good coffee at foundfamiliar.com and use the code on the screen to get 15% off. What do you mean I can't drink coffee? What the fuck is felt? And we couldn't end this segment without talking about our good friends at Die Hard Dice. That's right. As a Dice affiliate, we are proud to partner with Die Hard Dice to bring you only the best in shiny click-clacks. Click-clacks? What is... Ow. You can check their ever-growing collection over at dieharddice.com and use the link below to get 15% off. You're putting this all on me? I better get a cut.
Montreal. A city on an island. But what is a city on an island but a morass? And it could be any definition of that term. A tract of low, soft, wet ground. A marsh or a bog. But Montreal is also a morass in the definition of any confusing or troublesome situation, especially one from which it is difficult to free oneself. An entanglement. Just when you think you're out, they pull you back in. A city where change has come, but the morass still rules. You see it in the politics. You see it in the people. You see it in the weight as they pull further and further and further down upon you. And in the end, there's a question. What do you sacrifice to get yourself out of that morass? I don't know yet. Don't know how many of them you can pull out with you, or have to cut loose before they drag you down and drown you as well. And it's become more and more obvious the longer I'm here that there is no good way out. How many bodies will be left behind in this bog? We'll see. We'll have to see.
Hey, hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. For Monday night, we're back in Montreal and we're playing Vampire the Masquerade. I'm Simon at Wandering DM. I will be the storyteller for tonight. I use he, him pronouns, and I will throw the mic up to my players so that they can introduce themselves. We're going to recap what happened last time, and we're going to get into trouble, I guess.
Trouble's already started. Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Build on the airnets. Back with the wonderful Montreal by Night crew playing Arthur Porter. Both of us use he, him pronouns. And so most of the meetings have been fulfilled. Now, I don't know if we're back in the fuck around stage or the finding out stage. But we'll find out soon.
Who's next?
Hi everybody. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax at Derrick on Twitter, or Praxworth as me as you see me around here on Twitch, and I get to play Florica Flori Winters, your friendly neighborhood Ravnos, for whom it is absolutely not her fault anything that has happened in this entire campaign. It's everybody else's fault. And she apparently is, gonna take it some time, have a spa weekend, go to Paris. It's great. I don't have to worry about the shit that's happening in the city, beyond the fact that I'm pretty much convinced that the sheriff slash seneschal is compromised. So that's gonna be fun. But both of us use she, her pronouns, and I can't wait to see what happens next, everybody.
And last but not least.
Hi, everyone. I am Trooper SJP, and I'm looking at my spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet for my characters. I was like, I don't think I entered our XP for the last session. I should do that. Anyhow, I am Trooper SJP, and I am playing Dixon, your friendly neighborhood Brujah, except he's no longer friendly, no longer has a neighborhood, and he's never been a Brujah. But that's me, and I am happy to be here with only 4 more sessions of this amazing chronicle.
So last time, well, first of all, music. Rude for music to not play.
Did we get XP last time?
So we might not have any music. Okay.
Okay. So I think it was me. Yeah.
We didn't get any music or any XP last time.
Okay, good. I was worried that I was shirking my obsessive spreadsheet player duties, but I wasn't. So okay. Whew.
So last time, well, both episodes, let's go with that. The Coterie came out from the Shadowlands and finally got back to Montreal, where a ton of things were awaiting them. People had been trying to reach them for various projects that they had going on, and we began going through the list, going through the motions. Arthur met with Sandy, not yet with Pagos, but met with Caleb, met with Flory, Silvio met with Flory.
Technically, Silvio's meeting with Flory tonight before she gets on a plane, as she takes Charlotte,
Yes, but
and they're
you
going to
did-
get a
you did
plane to
call.
Paris.
Arthur.
I met with our favorite Anarch, and
Oh, that was Yuma first. Yes. Okay.
yeah.
And so you still have the commissioner in San Diego to
Oh, I also have Valois up there, and the commissioner's supposed to be tomorrow night.
Yep. And the only thing that was on Dixon's list was, well, find a new home. And he started digging out his new home.
Yeah, I had to do a little bit of Marie Kondo. You know what I mean? There was
Gosh,
this,
baby.
like charred wreckage and rubble and blood, smears everywhere. You just have to kind of do a little bit of cleanup, as it were. You know how it is.
Mm-hmm. So we ended last time with Flory and her encounter with Caleb. That ended strangely, with a lot of tension. And so we're gonna move on for now to Arthur. Back to Arthur, who has a bunch of other meetings to attend.
And we're still on the same day, yes? We're still on the
Yes,
same
we
day?
are still the night of December 22nd.
Yeah. No. Next is Valois, Santiago. I can leave till late. So getting to the university with a notebook. Well, not a notebook, more of one of those legal file briefs,
Mhm.
corded one, filled with just copies of everything. Because
Oh,
I'm
you're
not
not giving
giving
the
him
originals?
no, I'm keeping those for my personal collection.
That makes sense.
But since I'm also giving copies, sure, I will give him the fanboy book as well, copied.
The fanboy book. Let me just make sure we are talking about. Oh, Carl's.
Well, there's
Carl
Carl's
or
book.
Beckett's
But
diary.
I'm giving him a copy of Beckett's diary.
Okay.
I'm being nice.
Do you give him a copy of Carl and Strathcona's diaries?
Yes.
And do
As
you...
well as copies of the ledgers, because I know he was interested in those.
Yeah, and the book from which Dixon tore out pages.
Yeah, the thing that was
Evil Dead
screaming.
like book. Yeah,
I was
do you
trying
want
to
give
destroy the
him-
book because it was bad.
I don't think I should give that to Valois, because that's either going to cause him undue problems or it's going to cause the book undue problems. Either way, someone's having a bad evening.
Well, as you make your way to his office at the University of Montreal, again, you find a campus that is pretty much empty at this time of night, at this time of year. School's out. And it's very cold outside. You make your way up to his office. The door is slightly ajar, and you hear from within the sound of just paper shuffling, softly, but still.
Knock on the door. Knock on the mantle of the door.
The mantle of the door bears a rune on it, a glyph. As you knock on the door, you hear a "Who is it?"
It's your not quite so dead friend.
One moment. All right, come in.
I come bearing gifts. As he just sets down the accordion file.
He takes it. In a way, you see the eagerness in his face. He opens the file and begins to just sift through what you have. And goes, okay, what do we have here? Diary, ledger, another one of Beckett's. He pulls out the Lilith Bible. Goes, huh, that's interesting. He sets it on a different, well, I was gonna say pile. It's not a pile. It's now becoming its own pile. Get the commentaries on the Book of Nod out. Flips through the pages very quickly. Just look at stuff. And then he starts looking, going through everything. He barely pays attention to you, but you just hear him mumble just take a chair, I'll be a moment.
Figured.
His moment, going to be an hour.
Right.
Of him going through everything once, twice. There is none of what I was looking for.
Well, considering that downstairs wasn't as empty as I thought, it may have been moved, traded away, due to the fact that
I hope not.
the face-wearing individual, also known to those locally wearing an entirely different and much more punchable face, was down there.
You speak of this individual as if it's someone that I should also know?
Yeah, considering you have the site, Carl Johnson wasn't Carl Johnson.
Oh, he's always looked that way. He's always been Carl Johnson. Do you mean he goes by a different name?
I'm
Why
going,
would the
that wasn't
site-
Carl Johnson. You were seeing the person who Diablerized Carl Johnson.
Yes, well. At some point, you start ignoring the veins in people's aura because it's all too common. I should have paid more attention. Glad you're in one piece.
I'm fairly certain he definitely had a hand in Diane's disappearance. But also, he was gifted in the ways of the underworld. And somehow, after nomming on Johnson, through memories and contacts of his victim, he managed to get a Gangrel Archon in this city. Which leads me to believe that he has been very active until we interrupted his playtime. And there may be a number of other problems in the city that he has given birth to that we are just waiting to find out about.
Well, if what I was looking for, context, Strathcona had a lot of thaumaturgists, blood sorcerers. Not me. They kept a lot of esoteric lore, formulae in the temple.
There was a lot of stuff burned. I mean, a lot.
It would have been enough. I do not think that they would have squirreled away with it. I don't think they had time. I should have been there.
No, you really shouldn't have, considering the amount of damage down there.
No, I meant that night. Maybe it could have safeguarded some things. Well, I will be in touch.
Certainly. But
I am grateful for what you've brought, and if I can somehow aid you in a similar manner, just let me know.
it's more aiding the city at this point. Considering that you didn't catch on about Johnson. Caleb didn't catch on about Johnson. The Prince didn't catch on about Johnson. And I don't think any of the other members of the Provincial Council or just the locals caught on about Johnson. There is a high likelihood that the city and its citizens are in for a nasty surprise. So if you can figure out anything of the obsessive, deranged individual who you have a diary for, and things that he might have done whilst in a Diabler's haze, let me know.
Yes, that will be compensation for the
Yeah.
books.
Also, once things calm down a bit, I will definitely start teaching your favorite pupil. That being said, there is also an absence I have come back to in my unfortunate time dilation. The Archons that were here seem to have skipped town, and no one seems to know what happened to them. And given the fact that I know my sire and her tastes, and those two are tasty, I would like to know that they're still amongst the community, just not on ice or already drank. I'd rather just think of them as being incompetent cowards as opposed to powering up my sire.
I recall them being here even a few weeks ago, but they've been... Well, to be fair, ever since about mid-November, they've been rather quiet. They said they were looking into you. That is all I managed to get from them.
Well, considering they're the one that sent me downstairs, I figured they'd have the patience or at least the interest in finding out what happened, as I did not turn up in a short period of time, which they then threatened that their just a car mama would show up if I didn't get things accomplished in their reasonable timeline.
What did they send you down for?
Evidence against a co-conspirator of my parent.
Are you sure they did not do so that you would be eliminated, but not by their hand, so it wouldn't cause
Yes,
any
but
problems?
considering that, I have already shown myself to be incredibly durable, slippery, and odd, I would figure at least the competent one of Tweedledee and Tweedledum would have stuck around.
Well, I know that their ghoul is still around. I saw the old man kicking a few nights ago. I assume that they too are probably there.
Where did you see him?
He hangs out downtown by the Hilton. Ah, the Carlton. Oof. Different type of hotel.
Yeah.
He is more outgoing than the rest. I've had a few, say, acquaintances of mine bump into him.
Oh, I'll see if I can't scare up the old man and see what happened to his acquaintances. But I have a feeling that I would like to be wrong about this. I really want to be wrong about this. I'd rather than just be assholes. But if one of them or both of them are missing, we've got significant problems on our hands. On top of, I don't know whether or not Mehmet's still in town. And if he is, his chowder is probably doing whatever the fuck Papa wants. Which means
Mr. Benity is still in town.
So, the prince is not the prince. The prince is a puppet. And Papa is going to get what he wants. What he wants, I do not know. But if he's here and has set things up this heavily handed, there's something here he really wants.
That I cannot say. I'm not privy to the innermost offices of the tower.
Speaking of the innermost offices of the tower, Caleb been acting strange.
You're gonna
Than
have to
usual.
define strange.
Being
More than usual.
on edge about things, eager about things, angry about something.
Hope, I'm gonna need a roll. And I'm gonna explain something. You have entertained only good relationships with this Tremere since the start.
Yeah.
Which means I'm going to ask you for a charisma persuasion check. And because of your bond, not in the,
Yeah.
Give yourself 5 bonus dice.
Oh.
I'm looking at a difficulty 4. You have never once antagonized Valois this whole time.
I'm going to rouse the blood because I'm going to need every bit I can get.
Go ahead.
Huzzah.
All right.
So, and yeah, we'll do persuasion. Charisma. Well, ain't that funny? The pool size modifier is limited to 5. So I'll get 2 more after this.
Yeah, no problem. It's an enormous amount of dice. But you do get enough successes.
Yeah, I just want to see how much.
Yeah, you still have to roll the rest, but you're not gonna have bestial crit or anything like that in my secret room.
Yeah. So just the 5.
You needed 4. Valois sits back in his chair, reclines a bit. You see him wave his pen in the air, and you hear the click and lock of his office door. I don't know how much you know about Caleb. Or should I say Elias the Whale?
Does that name ring any bells?
Maybe. We'll go with the successes that you have. So I will say yes instead of making you roll again. He was known as an informant for the Sabbat. Basically, a Cainite that was so big he couldn't move by himself, despite having potence. Now, the strange thing is, Elias was part of a pack called the Wretched. And the Wretched included a surprisingly talented, let's call her a genius of vicissitude. Someone that went by the name Stephanie Leroux, or in English it would be Stephanie the Happy, but the Happy is actually a common last name here. I will type it out in Roll20 chat so that everyone can see it, and then I'll have all the English-speaking people freak out at all the silent letters in that word.
Gesundheit.
As far as you know, he was at the Night of Ashes, he died. But Valois explains that Elias the Whale has been Elias the Whale for only a short amount of time in his life. Similar to Mr. Johnson, Mr. Duval took his place at some point. Played the part so well, but it took people decades to figure out that this master spy, this informant with eyes and ears everywhere, despite the fact that he would never move from his chair, he, in a way, controlled Montreal. Strathcona had to establish, it's going to be a strange choice of word, supernatural means. More supernatural than us. To extract information forcefully from people. Information that somehow, at some point, our dear sheriff would learn. Now, the disciplines that were used, I never could get anywhere close to the wretched, given my role and given my clan. I know that this Stephanie is something else. Your sire would probably also be interested. You spoke at length about the power of Val, but they were perhaps similar. Mind you, this one was strange. She was immune to the red fear.
Oh dear.
Mr. Duval, if you want to know if he acted strange lately, I would say in the past week or so, I had to meet with him. Unfortunately, there hasn't been any meeting of the Primogen Council since the Camarilla was established here. We had a preliminary hearing, so just listening to His Highness. And I sought to know more, and from what I could glean, it was less of the Caleb, more of the Elias.
Well,
But one would need to know both, or to have known both for a time, to know that there's any difference.
looks like somebody else is having problems with their past. As for this Stephanie, I'm not certain necessarily of her whereabouts, but if she was immune to the red fear, she was a Coldonist. I can tell you that.
Love that the caption called her a cold dentist. Coldonic sorcery is strange, to say the least. Very interesting. Very difficult to learn. The secrets are almost better guarded than the ones for blood sorcery.
There's regional entry one has to do in order for one to really start advancing on that path.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you can easily just pick up away from the old country. And if she was immune to the red fear, she was a good ways on that path.
Oh, she played with fire, figuratively and literally.
Well, let's just hope she wasn't powerful enough to, do the, as Val would say, the old volcano trip, 2 villages tops. But
No, she was less the kind of to broadcast her abilities.
a restrained Coldunist, don't that beat all?
Oh, I mean, she had her own little circle outside of her pack, but
I'm sorry, when one of us starts walking that path, usually they just can't help themselves and cannot keep their mouths shut. So seeing one being restrained means a number of things. That's impressive. And if she was already along that path, and you said the master of vicissitude, Mel would probably know her. If she didn't know her, she would hate her. So that's an interesting little nugget. But I wouldn't be surprised if Caleb starts getting a bit more irregular.
Well, perhaps he was expecting someone to arrive. Or perhaps your absence for a month put him on edge.
No, it's not the absence. It's the return. But we'll see how this plays out. But I have a feeling that we are all going to be meeting with Elias the Whale here real soon, as well as finding out whether he wants us to or not, Mamet's actual desires for the city. In either case, it's not going to end well between either a spy who has very specific desires and them not being met and starting to get a little testy,
I'd love to hear it.
and then a venture that has long been accustomed to having his way and his eyes are on the city. Somehow all of this ties back to Paris, and I still don't know how.
I am from the New World. He says, you know, him being something
Yeah.
like not even 100 years old.
Someone who is over 100 just kind of looks at him. Just like,
Yeah, no, Canon Valois is... He was embraced in like his 30s, but he was born in the 50s.
yeah. Somebody who was born
He's-
towards the end of the 19th century is judging him.
Yeah. But, you know, he puts on those airs, right?
Yeah. Kind of thick, too.
Yeah, but the thing is, he is, like, in a way, for his age, he is a prodigy. It's more his, like, bloodline, but whatever.
Eh.
But it's just funny when
Yeah.
I remember that, like, yeah, he's as old as my grandpa.
So it's just like, that's like the one moment where like Arthur just kind of gets kicked out of the conversation for a second there. Well, if I come across anything else, I'll let you know. Two other things before I leave. I ran into two other things downstairs, one of which I don't think will be a problem for us anymore after talking with Yuma. Apparently, a pack got their hands on a yet to have their first change werewolf and decided to make it a science project.
I would have hoped that this thing had died, but
Nope.
is it still there?
Nope.
Good. That is part of what this prodigious Kuldunic sorceress was able to do.
Fun. Second thing that I ran into, like if I could still piss, I would have pissed myself. There was a vote down there, and it was hungry. The
He
good
reclines
news,
again. The
the good news is it's on the other side in the shadow, but it's hungry, and while it looks like it may have fallen into the maelstrom, I'm not entirely certain if that actually would kill the fucker. Or if the maelstrom would get, the rumblies and just spit the thing back out.
They never had any vote.
I saw a vote. I know
No,
what
what
they
I
look
mean
like.
is there never were a vote prior to the Night of Ashes. And votes aren't made from the stuff from the Shadowland. I might not be an Abyss Mystic, but I do know fair bit about spirits and ghosts. You do not create an abomination out of mortals if you pluck them out of the Shadowlands.
It was flesh and blood, and it was on the other side of the veil.
You know that meme? The person that goes like this and goes concern?
Yeah.
That's Valois' face. With the steepled fingers.
Yeah. It was flesh and blood. And it took a lot of effort to get that thing to go in the opposite direction. That was a concerted team effort.
I have a few students that are still in need of extra credits. I will have them look for some things. Thank you, Arthur,
You're
for what you've
welcome.
done. He waves his hand and the door unlocks again.
Stay safe.
And congratulations on playing a werewolf.
Wasn't my first, Fuzzy. I just hope it was the last.
As you
As I don't think I have enough cars for the next one.
as you exit his office, we're going to move to someone else. We're still the same night, so we're just going to, look at Dixon for a moment, just digging, and back to Flory. Outside in the snow in the park. What is next for Florica Winters?
After the conversation, that she had with Caleb and then Artie, it's go call Casimir and say, hey, where did you guys crash? I'm going to need we're getting on a plane, or I'm going to get her across the border tomorrow at like 9 o'clock. So meet me outside Silvio's at 9 o'clock. Because she has an 8 o'clock meeting with Silvio.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully should not take more than an hour. Gets in the car, gets Charlotte across the border, goes to Portland, gets the overnight flight from Portland, Maine to Paris. The charter flight that Artie promised.
He can be there at 9 p.m. no problem.
Yeah, but that's like tomorrow night kind of thing. That's like, and
yes, because we're already way past 9 p.m. anyway.
And she's gonna walk through and just take the Corvette and park it at Artie's and crash at Artie's.
Right.
And leave a message, send a text to Folly.
Mm-hmm.
With a heads up, thanking her for the use of her, the crash pad overnight, and that she's going out of town and will be in Paris for a couple days. Is there anything you want me to get from you from, is there anything that you're looking for in that city?
Let me see. Message sent.
Yep. So she's not expecting an immediate answer. And then she's just gonna go crash. Actually, she's gonna go feed and then crash.
Where are you taking your food tonight? What kind of place are you prowling for sustenance?
An apartment complex nearby. She's gonna go with what she actually is, which is a
Yeah, around the
Sandman.
park there you would have it would be a difficulty 3.
okay. What
Or,
do I have
like,
to roll?
So
Again.
Sandman, because you're hunting
Yeah.
someone who is I think they have to be asleep, right? That's the one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then in that case, I would go for dexterity and stealth. Yeah.
And with my specialization in breaking and entering.
Yeah, if you would have to break into a house to.
Yeah. Cool.
It pays enough now.
6 successes and a crit.
It is a crit.
I forget what happens if you get a crit on feeding,
Nothing.
which is sadness, but oh well.
I know. But if you get an extra crit, you lose a point of humanity.
Yeah. I don't think this game understood what crit success and crit failure.
It's an interesting definition. That said, do you kill the person to get to 0?
No, not tonight.
You're just you were at 2 hunger, I think.
Yeah.
You can definitely control yourself and not drink too much, one way or another.
Yeah. Just going down to 1. And then she's gonna go. She's gonna take a minute, look around the space, and then just be an asshole and like move books around on the shelf.
At Artie's, sure.
No, not at Artie's. At whoever she's feeding on.
Oh, the person you're feeding from.
Just to be an asshole. She's in one of those kind of moods. She's venting her, like, all of her mood with Caleb and being sucked into the underworld and all of the things she's waiting on phone calls from, like, Salmati, and she doesn't feel Jordani, but she also doesn't feel like Jordani died, so there's that complication. She's having feelings, and she's venting her feelings by being passive-aggressive and fucking with somebody's organization for their bookshelf and or their CD collection.
Yeah, fair. I don't think they would have. I was gonna say something about Blu-rays earlier, and then I immediately remembered. No, this is more than like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I think they would have Blu-rays by then, but it was too recent.
Blu-rays. They had Blu-rays in
They
2014.
had.
Isn't it
They had.
when the PSs?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had them. It had already won the
Oh,
format
that's true.
wars,
Yeah.
but it wasn't being as heavily adopted as was about 4 years later. When you get to
Wait.
2018, then it's like the number of DVDs that you just find out there thins.
Wait, has Blu-rays, have they won the format wars?
Yes.
I think so in 2014.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even by
'cause
now,
I
well,
don't
technically
I don't
streaming
own any
wins,
Blu.
but
I still buy DVDs. I don't buy Blu-rays.
more and more DVD players are also Blu-ray players, so they're built in so doesn't matter which one you pick up at the store, although it's technically cheaper to produce Blu-rays, so Blu-rays are winning for physical media.
Anyway, Laserdisc.
And then she's gonna go crash at Artie's.
At Artie's. Artie,
But she's gonna write down all the information about Stephanie and Hetty and all of that, like in code, so that she has it and can do that.
So while you're writing this, Arthur is driving home.
Well, no, I'm driving one place else.
Oh, no, right. Mr. Vagos.
last stop on the trip.
So you are driving to, Little Maghreb. Before we do so, I have a reply from Ellie. She says, "Ooh, some silk scarves would be epic." And then a second message says, "And chocolates." And then a third message says, "OMG and some perfume. Coty Lema is my fave. And then another message that says, "Thanks, you're the best."
She will just get a single all good and a thumbs up emoji.
Cool. Now, Arthur, Little Maghreb.
Yep.
Back of the grocery store. Go down.
I have another file, accordion file case, and I think when I went home to like gather stuff up, I also took the stuff off the GoPro and burned a CD, DVD for Vagos.
The club is in full swing. There's barely any light.
Ugh.
Lots of very ragdoll-like kind strewn about with equally as tranked kindred. You can see the silhouette of Vagos in his office. He's got his feet up on his desk. He puts them back down and gets up when he sees you enter the office. "Mr. Porter, so nice to see you."
Nice to be seen.
I hope
really
oh, no, go ahead.
Didn't find any objects dart, but got a DVD that might be of some interest and copies of a number of books, ledgers, and files.
Huh. Well, give them here. I did sprung out a rather sizable boon to get you out of there. I was really hoping you would have something worthwhile, but we'll see from what you have.
You have to understand that while it may have been a bunch of weeks for y'all, it was literally a day for me. Kind of was pressed for time when, thrust into the underworld and then all of a sudden the Vogue is trying to eat you.
He taps the DVD case and he goes, "Are you saying this is snuff?"
No, most of the stuff that I took video capture of is of the different rooms and what remains of the temple. Once the parlor trick was done by Carl Johnson,
Yeah, so you did film Johnson, right?
we filmed him up until the point everything went wonky.
Yeah, because the cameras went to shit the
Yeah.
moment you Oh, so no snuff at all.
No stuff.
Just for the record, I don't know if you deliberately put Flory or Dixon in your GoPro, but Dixon would not have wanted to be seen on that video, just generally speaking, and he was, I think, further back.
You were further back, and he was doing things to where it wasn't getting anybody else in the shot.
I'll look at this later. He takes the accordion file, opens it. It's the stuff out. You want to stay?
Oh,
You want to sample? We have some rather interesting new arrivals.
Not really into that. Kind of left that behind when I left Miami.
Suit yourself is just some of the best designer drugs, makes you feel alive.
No. I have been spoiled by La Sombra mixing techniques.
Well then. He starts rooting through as you leave. No, sorry. Were
Well,
you staying or
staying for a short
Staying but
bit
not
to just
partaking.
like to inform him of a few things. One, I don't know if you knew, but apparently Carl Johnson wasn't Carl Johnson.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Bald asshole, part of the cam, was the prince's lieutenant. Was actually a Sabbat survivor that had diablerized Baldy McNogood.
I live in the
And
shadows of the tower. I try not to look behind me.
I can understand that, but at the same time, usually in order to operate in hostile territory, one makes account of who the boss and the capos are.
Oh, the moment, well, couples are another matter altogether, but the moment the shadows begin to writhe, that's normally my cue to leave. Speaking of writhing, and he gets the Lilith Bible out. Interesting.
Yeah, some nice hardcore heresy.
Voice literature. That I would consider it an objet
Well, once I skim it for anything of arcane value, I can give you the primary copy.
I would appreciate.
All
It would
right.
go a certain way towards making this endeavor worthwhile for me.
I understand. You called it a big chip.
Yes, and I also lost my precious daughter.
To my understanding, the individuals that upset Caleb are still amongst us, just elsewhere.
Elsewhere out of reach, and I tend to not enjoy when my progeny is out of reach.
Well, that's more of a Caleb issue, not necessarily a me issue.
No, but springing you out made it a Caleb issue, apparently.
That's on your childer, not on me.
Still part of the costs.
Yeah, but there's some times where the seller eats cost because the financial investment is good.
Are you saying your financial investment, Mr. Porter?
I'm saying I am part of community development, considering I have a meeting with the commissioner tomorrow.
An altruistic ex-Sabbat. Interesting.
The fact that everyone has mismanaged this place for so fucking long, there's obvious power vacuums that someone is going to have to step in. Otherwise, it'll be the fucking Inquisition. So I'm stepping up.
Well, I look forward to you not seeing me at all once you get into power.
I'm not interested in power. I'm interested in knowing. I want to know when someone fucks up, and I want to be able to clamp down so the mortals don't fucking know.
Those are some very basic goals.
Basic is what is available, and what is more in my portfolio. And since everyone apparently around here doesn't have their pulse, well, their fingers on the pulse of the kind anymore, someone has to step up and do just the fucking basics, which is you get first the commissioner in your pocket, then you get the mayor's office, then the judges. That's just like the basics. Then you
I
go
thought the
from
tower had
media.
already taken care of that.
The tower is being mismanaged by a man-child and his absentee father.
Alright, so we're due for another Night of Ashes. Got it.
No, it's going to be less clean than that. Also, you wouldn't happen to know an individual by the name of Elias the Whale?
Why, yes. I mean, we weren't pen pals, but the moment you set foot on the island, he knew about you, and I make it a point to try to get to know the people that are prying into my things.
Well, apparently he's had an extreme makeover.
It would have had to be extreme.
Yeah, well, my family's very good at that.
Yes, well, he did not become what he became through natural means, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and by unnatural means, he got it undone. And now he is the sheriff.
So we have a Sabat as a sheriff. I wonder if the prince knows.
That prince is nothing but air. He has no spine, no power, except being able to dangle a little paper that says he was sent by France, and I'm not even sure that's legit.
Oh,
And considering they had, a ton of people with the site in that little court of theirs, and they couldn't figure out that Johnson was a Sabat Diablerist and not Johnson, doesn't really spell much of competency by any of them.
what can I say? I have the site, but I wasn't invited.
You know how to keep your nose out of the things that will bite it. I appreciate that.
Yes, and I wish to keep it this way.
And I wish to keep the rest of the city as quiet as you keep your business.
Fair.
There's one thing that I have learned in my long time on this earth. You don't get rid of vice, you regulate it. You are good at what you do. And
Thank
as
you.
long as it doesn't make a mess of things, I'd rather continue you doing it.
Oh, I will abide by this. If you're not dusted trying to climb up the pyramid.
I ain't climbing no pyramids. Maybe a ladder. The pyramids, they chafe. Too much sand. But
Well,
that
it was a
tower
bit of
is
fun.
going to fall because it is built on sand. And I'm more interested in who's going to be still here after it falls. Yuma's getting his house in order. You already have your house.
When you say that, he just looks over like through his window at the like handful of kindred here that are like half passed out. He's like, yes, in order.
It's anarchs. Expecting them to, dress nice and fly any form of straight is out of the question. But he has got a hold of the rabble and has already chastised the youngins for being idiots. And if 4 of those idiots continue to be so, I'm going to have some nice new furniture. So, no, things are going to get better, but they're going to get worse first. And I figure since you've done me a number of favors, which I will always try to repay and make even, I'm giving you the heads up.
Thank you. Have a good night, Mr. Porter. I have some choice smut to read.
Well, let me not get in the way of your reading. And he walks off.
You exit, go back up the elevator. When you go outside, you get a text message from Betty.
What the shit?
And the text message reads, "Long time no see, dear." And we're gonna go on break. We'll be right back. And we're back.
There is a
before
look
we...
of panic.
Uh-huh. There's a second message that pops in. Says, do you not want to speak to me?
I call the number. I am literally in the car outside of Fabius's place. And I will call.
It's Betty's voice that answers, but it's definitely not her personality through the voice. Good evening, child.
Hello, Mother.
You've been very, very busy.
We both have.
Yes, but I was expecting you to fail.
I have failed in many ways, just not necessarily the ones you were hoping for.
Hmm.
I'm still right, you know. The path that you're on is an end state for our clan, one that we have been throwing our heads against for literal centuries. If it was the goal of our progenitor, it would have been accomplished by now. The way is up, not down. We have studied it as an entire clan, again, for literal centuries. We are given this gift of time to be shepherds, not monsters.
That is one theory. Perhaps that all of those that came before us just didn't have the right tools, you know. There is such a thing as the forward march of progress.
This isn't progress. This is chimps in a writer's room.
And what is it that they say? Eventually one of them will write Shakespeare.
Yeah. Do you really want to take the risk?
You know I do not take risks.
You're still taking one with this. You fuck this up in any way, shape, or form, there is no coming back.
Are you worried about your dear old mommy?
I have always cared about you. I still fucking do. That has not changed. But my opinion and the stubbornness which we both possess says that this is a step too far, even for you.
Well, I was going to invite you to a thing, but I guess, I will go to option B then. My dear, I would highly advise you leave the city and never come back. Montreal has always belonged to the Sabbat, and it is going to stay that way. That little jaunt through the Ivory Tower was just a necessary...
You didn't kill Betty's cat, did you?
No, it's still here. Hopefully not shedding into my glass of water.
They do that.
Where was I? Shit, let me just go up the captions for a second. Yes, the Ivory Tower was just a necessary building block. for the imminent return of the rightful rulers of this island.
What does Mehmet get out of this?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Simon
What
didn't hear.
does Mehmet get out of this arrangement?
A quick death.
He
Did
is
you really
foolish, but he
expect
will
me to
see
play
him.
nice with the Blue Bloods?
I expect you to use them. But again, if he has been working with you for as long as he is going to be looking for the double cross.
Oh yes, he will. He definitely will. He is already too late.
Do you
He
have
just
the
doesn't know
archons?
that. The what now?
The
Oh,
archons.
the
Do you have them?
roses. Oh,
Yes.
I fear I might have misplaced them.
You don't misplace things, Mom.
They're gone. Aren't you happy? The big bag of police is out of your hair.
I am going to do something that we're all going to regret. Because you shouldn't have done that.
I say let them come. The more the merrier.
It's not going to be a lot. There'll be 2.
Are you on your phone while driving, Artie? Is that you driving, I hear?
No, I just have the car idling right now. I know better than to talk to you and drive. That's too much of an emotional thing, even for me.
Good, good. Well then. I think idling in a car is something pollution to try and keep yapping on about, so I will let you go. I still have a few things to do. I just wanted to call you to see how you were doing and protect you because I care. Leave the island.
I have just a few more questions before you go and do something that we're all going to regret. 1.
And she hangs up.
Fuck.
She waited for you to start, like, asking your question.
Did it again. So now, because he's still right outside of Vagos's.
Yes.
Goes back in. Goes to Vagos, hands his phone to him. I know you got tech experts on the payroll. The last number I called leads to my sire. She is here. She's impersonating Betty. And she has already killed the Archons.
And you want me to do what with that phone?
Well, considering that she is about to perform some sort of dark and terrible arcane ritual to bring the Sabbat back to the city, usually trying to ascend to some sort of dark and terrible godhood, I would figure it would be in your best interest to, find out where she is and do the thing that we both agreed on early on, which is kill her.
He takes a cell phone. He looks out the window. Well, my tech guy is currently indisposed, but say tomorrow night.
I don't think we got that kind of turnaround time.
I think if she waited all that time.
If she waited till this moment to contact me, that means she's got 2 steps left. Because she likes to play with a little bit of danger. 2 steps. Your guys, if you want to avoid having a disruption in your production and revenue stream, it is in your best interest to get this done before the sun rises.
Well, in that case, he slides the phone back your way. You might want to try another tech guy who's probably not going to be out of it until the sun rises. There's a man downtown by the name of Melvin.
I know Crossman. I know him.
Well then. I doubt Crossman is high out of his mind.
No, he's just out of his mind regularly.
Shay. But he's also, you know, of the nerd type.
She told me to get off the island. Off the island. For somebody who has that much arcane power and has had time to prepare. So if you're not going to tackle this, I suggest you in your business, at least for the next 48 hours, find someplace else.
We've escaped persecution from whoever was in power for years. I doubt your sire will.
You
Find
don't
it.
fucking get it. She goes through with what she's planning. There is no hiding. You will come to her because she will have ties to the blood to you. And she will make you bend the fucking knee because that will get her the fuck off. So stay and be a slave or get your business, get your people off the goddamn island or kill her.
I will take the third secret option.
Yeah, well, I tried to keep you from getting chains, but here we are. Have a good night, Vagos. At least your daughter will be free. One thing that she'll have up on you as I leave.
Did you pick up your phone? Did you pick your phone back up?
Yeah.
Or did you? Okay. Just making sure.
I storm out, get to the car. There is a just rush back to the house because if Artie's going to be able to get anything done, he needs access to his computer on top of the phones.
Mhm.
And at this point, it is as soon as he's in the door, calls going out to every single kind under his employ or a friend, and is just pleading with them to get the fuck off the island for the next week.
Oh, the mortals that you call, like Silvio, like Michelle, all of those, Ralphie, like, you don't need to plead that much. If Arthur says get the fuck off the island, they will. Silvio, though, will note that he has a meeting with your associate, Miss Winters, tomorrow.
If I see her, I will try and forward things, but Silvio, this is a... He puts it this way to Silvio. Silvio, this is a reorganization of the families of all kinds. You need to get off the island.
Flory is waving at you, by the way,
And
from your
goes-
couch.
as he finally catches eye, because he is he is in a tunnel right now. Just she's right here. I'll hand the phone over.
So
Hello
he's
again,
engaged
Miss
in
Winters.
nuclear. Hello. Given the fact-
Apparently. Oh, no, go ahead.
Given the fact that Artie has since engaged the nuclear option, I'm going to assume that things are in flux. What can I do for
Apparently.
you?
Oh, we were to meet tomorrow, but Arthur said that we should do this tonight.
All right. I can be there in 15 minutes. 7 if you care about traffic laws.
Well, I can give you. Okay, yeah. I'll be waiting.
See you, Silvio. Like, hangs up. Nice to see you.
And she picks up her phone and calls Casimir.
He picks up. Yep.
Artie is engaged the nuclear option.
She's wearing Betty.
The fucking harpy.
I can just swing this RV around and leave the country.
I think that's a plan. Unless you want.
So, what about your flight?
I'll take the vet.
All right.
You and Charlotte can bond, because apparently Jordani has been teaching her very interesting language.
Well, she's been rather quiet. I will see you when I will see you then. Have a safe flight.
Mm-hmm. I'll see
And,
you later, Tata. And she hangs up.
And
She is wearing fucking Betty.
And she will make one more call
Mhm.
to the club for Maylan.
Mhm.
Lock it down
Ye-
and get out.
What about the big bash?
We'll have a... And she's not sounding like herself at all. She's very clipped, very British accent. Some sort of city ordnance problem. The nuclear option was engaged. Get out.
She, like, doesn't even ask. She just, answers, all right. Hangs up. You know that she, she has her plan, her
plan, and there's enough, there's a scaled plan to get the girls out and a slush fund to, cover a loss of operation.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's easy, a week before the opening to just
have a
it's still closed anyway. Like,
yeah, and have a, you have to get your certificate of occupation, some sort of, it's a holiday week. There is a government screw up. That means we can't have, we're going to totally blame the government. It's fine. And she will make eye contact with Artie and dial a number that she picked up on the burner phone that she got from when they were attempting to, deal with Mehmet. And she'll call him, or at least the number he called her from.
That was the give me 2 seconds.
When, we staked a baby vampire to a hood of a car and left him for some blue pines.
Actually, the number's disconnected.
She's gonna smirk, and then she's gonna text Caleb and go, Betty has a new rider. You might wanna peace out. A favor for a favor. Or no, she would say a favor from a friend.
there's like the 3 little dots of like typing.
Mhm.
There's never any message that goes through.
She doesn't care. She turns to look at Artie. I'm going to go see your friend. Then I'll come back, spend the night, and get on a plane to Paris.
It's happening tonight. She's 2 steps away.
Not happening tonight. She wants you to panic first. She needs to savor your panic. So don't panic.
I'm getting people out, and I'm at least letting people know.
Oh yeah. That's fair. But you need to breathe. You know, woosah. Have you woosah'd lately?
No, but I'm going to get you a gift bag for Paris, since you're here.
Well, I've got this shopping list from Folly. Do you want one too? And as she's also texting Folly as like, you know, I'm going to be a little bit longer. Don't come back to, you know, she's sending a bunch of texts to Folly as well.
Yeah,
But she knows that Folly's not in the city, so.
If you can get me a Toreador door just a car with an axe to grind, that would be great.
Ollie's more concerned about like souvenirs and shit.
And there's
And
this
you're like,
moment.
I want you to kidnap someone.
And there's this moment of like, does it have to be a Toreador?
Well, considering that their archons have been snacked upon, I figured that they might actually do something as opposed to everybody else in this goddamn town.
Yeah, but I'm going to Paris, Artie.
I know.
You ask for impossible things, I'll try.
So,
And she
I honestly, at this point, the thing that I want is I actually want your pain in the ass to live so you can continue tormenting him, as opposed to whatever Val is going to do to him, which is going to be horrific at best.
not my problem. And I don't actually have the same kind of feelings about this. In fact, my feelings are entirely 180, and about the only reason I wouldn't want Val to kill him is because I don't want Val to get access to the information that he has locked in his little skull. But that's about it. I don't care about him anything else, and quite frankly, I'm looking forward to slowly flaying the man alive. So,
No, I'm... With this sort of betrayal, it's going to be slow, and it's going to be body altering.
again. And she's like, she grabs the keys, walks out. I'll be back in 25 minutes. 30 if I have to hit a red light.
I'll be here gathering, bribes for Vion and whoever else you have to run into, as well as making panic phone calls.
Remember what I said. Don't panic. And she's going to get on the car and go see Silvio.
There is no stopping the panic.
Woosa! Don't forget to woosa!
Fortunately, Silvio doesn't live quite far from Arthur's Haven anyways, we had established in the first season.
I'm 15 minutes away from Silvio's.
Which is why she's doing it in 7. Because she's not giving a shit about traffic laws.
Well, I mean, traffic at 3 a.m., you're fine. You just run like a red or two, and that's pretty much it. There's like a dim light in his living room. When you walk up to the door, you don't even need to knock, that he like immediately opens. Come in. Don't mind the mess. It's been a rough couple of weeks. And you would notice, yeah, there's a bunch of like plastic sheets on the floor of his living room.
Mm-hmm.
His against this bay window, there is a his bay window is basically almost like overtaken by a huge flat screen that projects outside the whatever image you saw of the dim light and an empty living room. In this case, there's just one bright light.
Yeah, she's
Pointed
not going to
at
walk.
a bloodied person tied up on a chair.
I do love a professional. And she's
Yes.
who can she tell who the bloody person tied up to the chair is?
You have never seen that person fucking ever in your life. He's if I could, he's a Wish version of Vin Diesel. Like if you order Vin Diesel from Wish.
How many steroids? And she like turns to look at Sylvia and goes, "How many steroids does you think it takes to get like that?"
Oh, I don't think it's steroid in his case, right? And the guy is just like his head lows. He says, "Hey," he goes, snaps his fingers in front of him. Hey, come on. Wake up, get up. I'm not dressed for this. Come on.
Oh,
And
do you
as
want
the
me
person-
to? I currently am.
S- Tell her what you told me. Come on. After that, you can go to sleep. You can go home. I don't care. Tell the nice lady what you told me the other day. He mumbles incoherently. There's like a trickle of blood that comes out of his mouth. He's out of it, but you notice that he's also sweating profusely. I'm sorry. He's been out of the freezer for a while. Yeah. I thought he'd be a little,
Well, I
perkier
mean-
for tomorrow.
It's
Um,
fine. I trust you. You're a professional.
Well, his name is irrelevant. I guess I don't know if you want to have it. Wait, and he goes to like a
I mean, it's just good housekeeping, but I understand.
yeah, like his TV like stand. There's like a couple drawers. He pulls one out, draws a small, like a slim, like crocodile skin wallet, and throws it your way. There's barely anything in it. Like there's a credit card, there's a driver's license, and there's a card, a VIP card for the hunter screen.
Oh.
So the guy's name is Yves Pepin. Yves Pepin in French.
Mhm.
Like this. And Sylvia will explain that he was part of the folks that either kidnapped or he was at least part of the people that were watching over Talathia, right?
Mhm.
Sylvia's friends, they're some of them are a little bit out of shape now, but they have old men strength.
Yeah.
This guy has gorilla strength. So he figured that guy wasn't normal. When they managed to subdue him, they brought him in. He says that he is one of many. Well, he threw out a name, Mehmet Benici. Benici?
He's the asshole that I told you was an inappropriate dick.
Oh, well, he works for him.
Mm. And she's gonna walk around him and like tilt the head of the guy. Is he kind?
Oh yes, he's kind. Sorry. You can feel the heartbeat. You can smell the
Okay.
blood.
Does he smell like a ghoul?
Oh yeah, you have sent the beast. Yes, he is a ghoul.
Yes.
Yes, he's a ghoul.
Mm.
You don't even. Yep. If you had it up the moment you
she always
enter
does.
the room, you're like, oh, that's a ghoul.
Yeah, she has sense the beast. She always keeps that up when she's gonna walk in. She's gonna tilt the head and look at Silvio and look at this guy and go, Mehmet Benici is a problem, but he's dealing in a certain type of performance enhancing substance that gives this guy his strength, but it's addictive. And she kind of like tilts the head a little bit further.
Mm. So it's like a reverse of what you do.
Extremely.
Like you drink from us, you get stronger. They drink from you. How does that work?
Honestly,
You know what? I don't want to know. You know what?
Look, I don't want you to know, but I think you should know this little piece so that you can protect yourself and people you care about. And she'll kind of like tilt the guy's neck a little bit further.
Mm-hmm.
And like if he's got any visible marks on him, any whatsoever. Because she's assuming that Mehmet in some way marks his ghouls. He has before.
Can you make? Because he said it like very like nonchalantly, right, matter of factly. But can you make wits in occult?
Yes.
Difficulty 2.
Okay.
And add yourself an extra die because knowing Mehmet.
Okay. 4 successes.
Jeez. Okay. Mehmet does not have potence. He's a vengeful.
Yeah.
If the ghoul has superhuman strength,
it's not.
It's someone else's ghoul. But he's, from what Silvio said anyway, apparently he is on Mehmet's payroll.
Yeah.
So there's some like fuckery ghoul swapping going on. You don't lend your ghoul to someone else unless you have, you know, a boon to call in or something.
Yeah.
Something serious.
Now, remind the player, would Val have potence? No, she wouldn't.
No,
unless
the Tsimichi don't have potence.
It's one of those I can't remember all of them, particularly since they changed them for this edition. So
there is one thing that I can say, and I don't know if it was carried over with this edition. Is there's a difference between a ghoul and a revenant.
Yeah.
Revenants are cultivated, and if it was from a cultivated line, then it could be one of Val's.
In so far, because there might be like stuff in the Sabat book that I haven't, I read it diagonally, but as far as I recall in 5th ed, revenants aren't these, there's I think there's a lore sheet you can take that marks you as having been from a revenant family.
Mm-hmm.
I have it here. I'll confirm in a second. But there's nothing more than that. As in, it's special. You're a special ghoul, but it's not like how complex it was in like prior editions, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it very quickly, but at worst I'll find them after the game. But it's the concept of a revenant family still exists. You still have like entire bloodlines. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. So potence is rather not in the wheelhouse of the Tsimichi. or the Ventra.
Hmm.
Mind you, with 4 successes, I'll give you that. The ghoul, I'm gonna go a bit in the rules, but you know, in world,
Yeah.
whatever. The ghoul in 5th, they can pick 1 dot of any discipline that the master knows. So if somehow Mehmet got access to Potence or Val, they could. Potence being a fairly basic discipline, yes, could have done it by themselves. However, do you think Mehmet would be the type of person to require supernatural strength? Or to want to possess supernatural strength?
I mean, he was a general on a battlefield. He did desire strength in all forms. I could see him taking it, but I could also see him lording over his inherent superiority of just bloodline superiority. So she's just going to make a note of that and go,
Mhm.
I mean, if you hold him on ice for like another couple of days, it'll be clear of his system.
Oh yeah, he's been, I've seen guys going through heroin withdrawal that were in much better, well, blood aside, much better shape than him.
Fair. I appreciate it. I know that Artie called you.
Yes, I'll pack my bags and I'll leave. I'll just leave Mr. here. You said you wanted him on ice?
I mean, if you have him on ice, then you, or not, your choice. Have fun. It's.
So I was going to release it to his family. They live in a farm upstate.
Oh, that sounds nice. What do you
So
do?
he goes to the TV stand again, draws a another drawer, gets a pistol with a silencer on it, and just back of the head.
I would advise double tapping. You can never be sure. It's just, it's a nice. Anyways,
He was strong.
yeah, exactly. And she's
Oh,
going
by
to.
the way, it splatters on the
Yeah,
on the
he's
plastic.
prepared, and
Yeah.
Flory has moved herself out of the line. You know, she knows, she can see where the blood spatter is going to be. She's not going to be a void in where the blood spatter is going to be. She's not going to be a problem, whatever. And she reaches into the bag that she grabbed from the car, and she hands Silvio a stack of bills with the amount that they had previously discussed. And 2 10-gram 5 gold bars. I appreciate it. I'm sorry about the delay.
Things happen.
Also, I'm going to Paris. You need anything?
No.
I'm just getting a shopping list.
I'm good.
I like being nice to people, and you're very nice. And I like dealing with professionals. And you, and she kind of gestures to the drop cloths and everything, are very professional.
Years of experience.
Eh. And she kind of gets this look on her face like, sure. And then it's like, have a pleasant evening. And she will walk out.
All right. I need to step out for a second. We're gonna fast forward to the next night. Go see Dixon. But I need to be right back here.
Should we rouse?
There's rousing that we can do,
Yes,
and
please.
also consider the series of additional panicked phone calls and text messages.
Flory did go back to Artie's for the night.
Yeah.
so that she could then get in the vet to drive to Portland.
In case any of y'all in the chat want to know, I had to rouse twice. Once because when you wake up in the morning, you have to rouse. And the second one is because I have got a bunch of aggravated damage from various fights in the other world, and you can only heal one aggravated damage a night. And so I had 3 aggravated damage out of 5. I healed one already today, leaving me with 2. So I roused again in order to bring that down to 1 aggravated damage, which I will be able to I'll be able to heal that the next night. And, that's how you do. In case you don't know, in 5th edition, you have 2 types of damage. You have just superficial damage and aggravated damage, and superficial damage. It's pretty easy to heal. It's not so bad. Aggravated damage is bad. It's like
How's
chunks of
the
your
withered
flesh.
limbs looking at this point?
Well, I imagine at this point I might probably have my arm back, but my leg is still withered. I have to, because I still have 1 aggravated damage. I don't get to get rid of them
Yeah.
until
So
I clear
it's
all of that aggravated.
your leg looks like somebody Capri Sunned it.
Yeah, that's pants. You know what I mean? You just
Yeah.
gotta wear pants so that people don't.
Well, it is
Don't
winter.
see it.
You can bundle up. That is the good
Yeah.
thing.
Well, if you have clothes, I only have 1 change of clothes except for like my Sunday best, which is in storage. So, and that 1 pair of clothes I got from Folly because my other clothes were just covered in blood. Just a lot of blood.
Did you keep
So-
the head flail?
Oh yeah, it's my place.
Oh, okay. It's
You
important.
might need
now.
it for something.
It ties the room together.
Literally.
Well, I mean, it might be necessary for some reason. You just don't throw out a good spine and skull flail. You know what I mean? Because it might be necessary for some reason. I don't know. People need things. I really cannot say. But yeah, it's a question. Yeah. So, you're gonna have a good time in Paris? Sightseeing?
I mean, yes, it's going to be complicated, but at least it's Paris and not London. London, I would not go to. I don't piss off Mithras.
London's complicated.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yes, it burned, from what I remember, but I haven't read the
Ye-
entire adventure.
yes, London burns and Anne dies horribly, but Mithras doesn't officially die, and 3 of his friends are carrying vials of his blood out of the city. And
It's a weird thing. Anyway, thank you for rousing people. We've got some pickish. It is now December 23rd. The day before, that is the best day in the world.
Huh.
No one got the reference. For once, I can make a music reference that no one knows. That's some Paul and Storm, if you've ever heard them. If not, I highly suggest you go and listen to them.
Still withered. Dixon is going to do his rounds, like walk around the city to leave messages in his dead drops. And then...
Well, I'm gonna have to ask you to wait.
Okay.
Because you do find stuff in one of your dead drops.
Which one?
There is a package from Ollie.
Oh. He will take it, put it in the clothing that he got from her place. He left a thank you note, by the way.
It's a small package. It's about yay big, maybe this thick, wrapped in paper. It's written like DX with a little heart next to it. And there's also like a crumpled up note. It's like a receipt from a restaurant that you know to be like close to another one of your dead drops.
He's going to move away from the dead drop. You never stay. You know what I mean? You don't
Yeah.
open the package at that location. You get away from that location. He has like little notes he's going to drop to various people. Like Antonio, Folly, Nina. Those three are the big ones he's going to dead drop to. But he's also going to check his dead drops for Artie and Melvin and Flory. Like he's going to do his rounds, and he's got some messages to drop off. But after the first one, he's like, as he's out of that space, moving to the next one, he's going to open up this package to see what it is.
So inside the paper that was used to wrap this thing, there is a message written. It reads, if you could like get Caleb to chill about the whole murder me and Nina thing, that would be great. And it's a BlackBerry. And there's a tiny booklet that comes with it, with instruction written by Folly. She says that inside the phone are Nina, Artie, and Flory's phone numbers and Folly's phone numbers. And there's instruction on how to text with a BlackBerry and how to turn it on and off.
Huh. Is it like my flip phone?
It's you know, the first models of BlackBerry, so like it comes with a full keyboard.
Yeah. Huh. So he's gonna sort of like head over to his next dead drop as he's trying to figure out how to do this. Figure out the BlackBerry, which I suppose is much closer to a Razor than what he had. So that's all right. He is going to text Folly and say, "This is the Big D in a new phone. Who is this? Big D."
She's just going to reply with an orange circle, a lipstick,
Okay.
a camera,
Okay.
and a thumbs up.
Orange circle. Lipstick. Lipstick is Folly. Camera. I don't know what that means. She wants to be a sun in moving picture. I don't. Could you do me a favor? Also, Nina has a package that I have been asking to pick up. Could you ask her to arrange a location? Also, I have a package that I need picked up that I can't. Would you do that for me? I can give you the location. You'll need a trunk and a bathing suit. We can meet at, and I give an address of, well, actually say, Nina knows the warehouse to meet.
While you're typing this novel, she will send a message as Big D, are you dead?
If I were dead, I couldn't text you.
Do you
right?
erase the entire other message to send this?
No, I send that one first, and then I immediately go to the next message. If I were dead, I couldn't text. Send. Unless, comma, you mean that mythologically, period. Send.
There's an emoji of a little character rolling their eyes, and she just goes, I see we're not using code. Nina left you a present at the restaurant. I thought you would pick it up through clues.
Send. The sun? Question mark? Tries to find the emoji of the yellow circle, orange
No.
circle, takes him a bit, finds it, puts it in there. That one?
You called yourself Big D, so I tried to obfuscate my name. You know, ginger with lipstick in front of a camera.
Oh! Send. Right. Comma. I'll call you F. Send.
She
Oh.
replies K.
No, comma, F. Send.
Emoji of someone facepalming, and then she says, I'm gonna lose signal. I'll text you again later.
Okay. Packages, location, sends like a longitude, latitude of the location. There, we'll meet later. Also, comma, I'll fix your problem, comma, and when I do, comma, I will text you and Nina. Period. Looks through some emojis, finds one that seems like it might be good, like
I don't even remember if we
thumbs
had
up?
that many emojis in 2014.
like a thumbs up, and then send.
The Blackberries actually had a larger emoji suite than most.
Oh, wow.
And so then he's like, he'll just finish his rounds. Dead drops, drop offs, messages, and then he's going to head over to Melvin's.
All right. Do you stop by the restaurant first?
If there's a package to pick up, he should probably go to Melvin's first. He doesn't want to
Okay.
have the package with him
Good, yeah.
when he's at Melvin's. You know what I mean? Like, because that package is probably large,
Yeah.
sort of a slightly larger size. So, you know.
Melvin's in his condo. He buzzes you in.
he'll just pop up.
He is currently there's some Skrillex playing in his apartment. To someone that was born in the early 1900s. I get the feeling that this is not music.
Yeah. Also, I don't, you know what? And also I was born in the late 1800s, late 1890s. Actually, no,
sorry.
just 1891, a little bit older than that. Just to knock on the door.
Yeah, do come in.
Is everything okay? So like noting that whatever that sound was.
He turns off, he like pauses the music. Yeah, come on in. What you got for me tonight?
Oh, well, you sent me a message saying that you wanted to meet with me.
Oh, you mean what I have for you tonight?
Oh, you don't need to give it to me. I found my own way in. You waited a long time. That's okay. Anyway, I got something for you anyway.
Yep. Go ahead.
And hands him this sort of shard of a mirror. Goes, there you go.
He picks it up, looks at it. Why do you want to know that?
What?
Yeah, and spins it around. No, thank you. He just gingerly puts it down on like his desk. Nice piece of whatever the fuck that is. Is it the magic
I said
mirror
I'd
from
get-
Snow White?
I don't know. You said you wanted something from below. You said if
Oh yeah, I just
In
didn't know
exchange-
what you would bring back. Apparently, you brought back a speaking mirror.
it exploded, so I thought it seemed interesting. I didn't have a lot of time to pick up things. There were things trying to murder. There was a lot of murder
Pepe.
things happening. Anyway, I just thought you'd like it.
Oh yeah, I do. I'll put it up in the bathroom.
Yeah, so you don't need to give me the entrance because I found a way in. Anyhow,
Okay.
I had a question. I suppose it doesn't seem all that important anymore. But
Everything's important at some point.
right, although in some ways those times might have passed. It's a curiosity.
Hmm?
I was told that you kept track of everybody who came in and out of Montreal during the old times.
Mm-hmm. In a way, yeah.
So I suppose my question is, I was coming in and out, stayed with you, with Antonio, privately, because I wasn't hanging out in a kindred society. But I suppose my question is, did everybody know that I was coming in and out, and was there some sort of word put out to say it was okay for me to come in and out? Or was it not known that I was coming in and out of the city?
He narrows his eyes and goes, where would you get an idea like this?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out whether or not I was sneaking in and out and that was just it, or whether or not somebody had put in word to leave me alone.
Okay, but seriously, where did you hear this? Is it Antonio?
It's more like I was thinking about the fact that my sire was here during that time, so maybe that's what
Oh.
that was about.
Oh, You must have found a lot of interesting things down there.
Oh, no, not really. Mostly bad things. This was a thought from before then, actually.
Well, assuming that the cat's out of the hat, it's a bit of both. Let's say most people were unaware of you coming and going. But what few were aware, we were told that you were under for protection. And, you didn't need to introduce yourself to anyone. I mean, you should, but you didn't have to. We never, just so we're clear, Andrade and I never stalked you out. We just knew where you were when you were landing in Montreal and warned
That's okay.
Hetty, so that you don't bump into each other.
Oh. So you made it so that she and I didn't see each other. Why?
He asked it.
Do you know why?
Um, something about responsibilities and mm, the thing about being in charge of a place and that you would probably throw it all away if you knew. And she, on the other hand, might be tempted to go back to. I figure you always came down from Halifax, so go back there.
I wouldn't have thrown it all away. I always would always have done what she asked me. Anyhow, um, so I need to tell you a few things, out of respect. Um, so you know, I am doing two things that are important to me, and the first thing is I wouldn't tell this to most people, but I'm going to find a way to restore the whites. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm going to. That's the first thing. Everybody already says it's a fool's errand, but I'm going to do it. I don't know how, but that's what I'm doing. And the second thing is I'm going to, with or without help, kill most of the Camarilla in this city.
If I had to bet, and I'm not a gambling man, but if I had to bet, I think your first thing has more chances of success than the second.
I think it's probably useful if people think that about me, but I just want you to know that I'm going to do that. I'm going to get rid of all of them, as many as I can.
I don't have any allegiances, so whatever happens, happens. And if the neighborhood becomes a bit too rowdy, I'll just move somewhere else.
No, I just wanted you to know because we had a beautiful place here for 2 years, and then they came in and everybody let them do it, and I'm just not going to let them do it anymore. It's going to go back to the way it was for these last 2 years, if I have anything to say about it.
Hey, who am I to stand in the way of someone who wants to commit suicide?
Well, I'm a bit harder than people might think. If you want to help, you certainly can, to bring freedom back to our city. If not, that's okay too.
I am not much of a freedom fighter. Like I said, I tend to not want to gamble, but we'll see where the chip falls, and, you know, maybe I get bored.
Maybe. I'm going to clean out our city, because this city is important to me.
Well, I wish you luck.
Thanks.
I know that your sire had something to do about the whites and such, but I don't know what she was trying to do.
Probably save them, just like me. If I can finish what she started, then I will have done my duty, or at least one of them.
But what if the whites you save are just as bad as the Camarilla you will fight to... You know what? Let me know when you figure it out. I'd be very interested to know if there's a way to come back from the edge.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for looking out for me. back then.
Yeah. Got some
You,
nice things out of it. So, I don't complain.
I hope that mirror piece will be helpful to you in some way.
I might talk to it when I'm lonely.
You can always message me. I have a new phone, and it looks up the notes. This is my texting number, and hands it to you. This I suppose you can call too if you need anything.
I mean, this is... He looks like, glances at your BlackBerry. He goes, add more recent than what you used to have. I guess it's a step in the right direction.
I was in the abyss for a month, by the way.
You were gone for a month, yeah?
Yeah, I was in the abyss.
That's, it's not the kind of spot that people go vacationing in.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't my choice. Anyway, you're not hanging out with the Camarilla, so I think you should be safe, but they're all a bunch of, I don't know what. Something bad.
Oh, I have a lot of words for what the Camarilla is.
Yeah, they're also, I don't know, corrupted maybe, so I wouldn't trust them. They've got I don't know. The details are a little bit unclear to me, but there's a guy, they call him Carl Johnson, and he was actually...
You know,
Did you hear about the
I know
fellow with
about
the-
Carl Johnson. Yeah, I was Prince's right-hand man. Guy who basically, like, his, oh, what'd you call it? Intern?
Right. I have his head and spine at my new crash pad.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, he was the guy with the coat of faces. That was him.
Wouldn't have pictured the guy wearing coat of faces, but I mean, hey.
I think it's basically he was some Sabbat from back when who was hanging out in the basement and then pretended to be Carl Johnson. And so the point is they've got all sorts of, leaks or...
Well, yeah, could have been that Johnson has always been
Maybe.
the bot. I don't
Either-
know.
I don't know. Either way, he's not going to be a problem anymore because...
Because you have his spine
know.
in his head in your apartment. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't quite know what to do with it, but it might be useful at some point.
Turn it into an art exhibit.
No, I mean, I imagine it. I don't know how it is. They're these archons or whatnot. I don't know what these people do, but maybe I'll need it for evidence for something at some point.
Oh. Yeah, these guys. I haven't heard of them. They weren't with you? They were pretty quiet for the last month.
I have not ever met with them because they've been way too interested in my business and I don't know them, so I didn't want to talk to them. I still haven't. Because I imagine if I went to talk to them, they'd just probably arrest me or do whatever those Camarilla people do. So,
Which is often not something cool.
yeah. Anyway, just know if you want to get in on the fight, you're welcome. If you don't, that's also okay, but I'm going to bring Montreal back. Or die trying, but kind of hardy. Oh, Artie has told everybody in the entire universe that his sire Val is around and going to murder everyone. She's definitely around. I don't know where she is, but she is around, and I imagine she'll try to murder everybody. I don't know what she's up to. There's a lot of details about her business that I'm not privy to, but there is some sort of very old clan of the dragon around, planning to do bad things, just so you know.
Yeah, there is a lot of old Clan of the Dragons around.
and I think that she was possessing the prince at some point, something like that. I don't know.
Well, I don't know what power she has, but I know that
I don't
they
know.
have all that sorcery thing. But I'll say this: if she's like the previous owners of this city, I subscribe to the live and let live type of mentality, and I would figure
Yeah.
that even a dragon as powerful as dragons sleeping somewhere on this island, that they would, do the same thing. Oh, give me a second. Hey,
I'm in favor of living and let living, but my understanding is that Val just likes to murder people. I don't know all of that, but she's going to be a problem, so I'm going to kill her too if I run into her.
well, I mean, by all means, clean house. Just,
That's my plan. Anyway, I just want to let you know that it's a bit of a payback. You helped me out, keep me safe in this city, and I'm going to go make sure this city is safe.
all right.
Anyway, if you need anything, you have my BlackBerry Pi phone number.
Yeah. I will page you.
Oh, great. Anyway, thanks, Melvin. And if you hear anything about curing whites, let me know. Hey, you were here, right, during the Night of Ashes?
Yeah.
There was a...
When I was around.
Well, yeah. There was a... my sire. People know that they'd be out to get me, but she used to hang out with some people. One of them was one of the dragons, I guess. I had a vision that they were planning something right before it happened, right? They had a plan for something. But I don't know what happened. I don't know if they succeeded at their plan or if they didn't.
Melvin begins to look like over your shoulder, over your head, just stares blankly at the wall and the ceiling, kind of in a daze, and he just goes, a dragon, an angel, and a panther.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying?
I just wanted to know if you knew about the dragon. Is she okay? Is she trustworthy? From you.
Live and let live?
Okay.
No.
Just wanted to know if you thought.
Can you make a check for me?
Sure.
I say no, but I'm gonna ask you to make a check for me, please.
If it involves insight, that's not my best skill. It is my, because again, fairly.
I know,
grew up
right?
in a
No,
barn.
I just need to check it. Here
Grew up on a farm.
first.
Not really a farm.
That would be, for all intents and purposes, can you give me, because it's not insight. Oh god. Manipulation?
Okay.
And I guess, fucking hell. Go with manipulation academics.
Okay. Does my specialization come into account?
You know what? I will say yes.
Okay. Specialization in Africana Studies.
Mhm.
Studied here in Montreal. in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
2.
2 successes. The way he asked the question, live and let live, there was a way back when you were running things with Hetty, where especially during like, or she would have told you that because you weren't born back then,
Yeah.
but like during the Underground Railroad, as a
Yeah.
way to sort of pass messages along in plain
Mhm.
view,
Mhm.
answering a question by a question, then normally the trick was like the other person would I'll use this example basically. I think it's going to be clearer. He's asking for a confirmation that it is safe
Mhm.
to answer your question by
Right.
just repeating a question or a thing you said earlier as a question. So that
Yeah.
way you could know, like, if there's someone eavesdropping around, or, you know, is it
Yeah.
is it safe? So
Yeah.
it looks like a kind of a normal question,
Yeah. Yeah.
but there's just
And he'll just Yeah, and he'll just like turn the phone off and tuck it away. And he'll say, "I always think live and let live, right?"
yeah, but I mean,
Okay.
we cool?
Yes.
Live and let live. Okay.
Yes.
I wouldn't
course.
antagonize her. But she's very special, and she was very special to your sire. But she's also very special to a lot of people, I think.
In a way
I
that
don't
they
know all of it, but I do know that she, her pack, the Wretched,
Okay.
they got the sweet loft haven within the temple. The Cardinal really looked favorably at them.
Did she betray Eddie?
I don't think so. That's a good... I've wondered what happened. See, I was supposed to be dusted that night.
Oh. I wouldn't have liked that.
Here's the thing. Everyone was supposed to show up for Strathcona's little... I don't know. Baby Jesus
party?
moment, whatever it is. Yeah.
Mm.
I didn't really care, didn't really follow. The thing is some back channels were mentioning that maybe it would be a good idea to skip this one. You know, just skipping a few period at school, showing up later.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I did. I messaged Antonio to make sure. I couldn't reach the others. But I know for a fact that the Wretched made it a point to be late that night.
Who was in the Wretched? Because I guess that's different from my sire's group.
Oh, I don't know, it's a trio of degenerates. They liked body modification to an extreme. I mean, Jimmy was part of them. You know Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Yeah. Who works for Caleb?
No.
No? Okay. Yeah,
What's he look like?
a giant spider. He just doesn't want
Oh.
people to know.
Jimmy's a giant spider.
Kind
Oh.
of. Look. This is gonna sound so stupid. What do you know? And I figure I know the answer already. What do you know of furries?
Okay. Is this like a fur coat that you'd like wear?
No, okay.
Or
So
is
there's
it like
this
if
community
you
of
drink a lot, you get like a kind of a fuzziness on your tongue
No.
the next day?
What do you know of Native American mythology in
Some.
North America? Okay. So you know
Some.
how they have patron spirits that they
Yeah.
sort of meet, encounter, sometimes call for help with
Yeah.
things and whatnot. Okay. It's kind of sad in a way that some people have an affinity for a certain type of animal. Like your
Okay,
GM
yeah.
right now made it a point to wear a very corny t-shirt of a wolf that I got
not
for
that
Christmas.
Yeah.
So furries hold the same sort of belief. Like they have an animal that they really, really associate themselves with.
Okay.
And-
So like a totem.
Yeah, a totem. And they go to like great lengths to make elaborate costumes to look like those things.
Okay. It's part of like a ritual.
Now imagine Jimmy found a way to do it, but not in a mundane, I go to Michael's and get a bunch of upholstery.
He's able to go and get sort of like a
He
spirit
could
walking.
become he became what he always thought he looked like for real.
Okay.
It's the torso of a man with the thorax of a spider.
And this Jimmy's still around somewhere, you're saying?
Oh, well, you know, after the Night of Ashes, he had to tone it down a bit. If you encounter him now,
Okay.
he's just gonna look like you and I. But believe me, below the surface, he is itching to spread those 8 legs and just go to town on people.
Have I met him?
Out of game, I think you never met him.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But
He was present at the
First
the
Elysium,
first
I think.
Elysium.
Yeah, so
He was
you-
present there.
Yeah, but he had like a non-speaking role.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
so the 3 people in the wretched were this spider guy and
Oh, and Elias the whale, who same thing, but decided to become there's a movie that came out recently, and I was fairly certain it was inspired by Elias. It's called Blade. I don't know if you've seen it.
no.
Never mind.
I
It's a very
haven't.
bad take on who we are, and I figure it's someone's masquerade breach that got a little too out of control. One of them is Blade 2, thank you. Is inspired. It kind of looks like him, but so if Jimmy wanted to be a spider, Elias wanted to be a whale.
Okay.
Hence the name.
Okay.
So he
Right.
was the size of a whale stuck underground.
Right.
I don't think he managed to move when everything blew up.
Okay. But I think he's Caleb. And if Jimmy works for Caleb, that means that group is still hanging out together. So who is the 3rd member?
Well, that's the thing. The 3rd member is Stephanie. She's that, you know, friend of yours.
Not friend of mine, but friend of Hetty's.
Huh.
Right?
Yeah, no, wait. That would make sense, actually.
What?
I don't know where Elias was that night. I assumed he was in the loft, which is, you know, right behind the altar. Hence why I thought he would have, you know, collapsed with the rest of the place. But he might not have been there. I know Jimmy skipped church. So did Steph. And I knew because, well, you know, there were back rooms on a thing called Shreknet before the Inquisition took it down. That's a whole other mess altogether. But the point is there were a few BBSs that mentioned some movement among the human population and an extrajudicial task force by people who aren't supposed to have jurisdiction on the island, or in this country for that matter. Anyway, the point is, there's a handful of people who knew to skip town. It would make sense that Jimmy stuck with Elias. I know that Stephanie wasn't there. I don't know what happened to her. But I figured Eddie was not, if, to go back to my original point, if she wanted to betray her, the best way to kill her would have been to tell her to show up at the church. Eddie was not at the temple. I know because she got the message somehow to not be there, or at the very least, from what I could gather right before everything went to shit, her name was not on the ledger of who was there or not.
Don't you think it's a little convenient that the same night the big birthday party was happening as when the Inquisition came?
Oh yeah, no, I get the feeling that someone set it all up.
Yeah, it's some
Yeah. Let's face it. Like we know.
Yeah.
The thing is I don't know who this message to skip church. I don't know where it originated from. It's just, you know, I have heard from the grapevine, and I can tell you, I searched deep in here.
You didn't find out?
Couldn't find a thing.
Well, whoever did it, well, look, I don't trust Caleb. He's been too much in my business, following me, too interested in too many things, so...
Well, if Caleb
Just
was
heads up.
Elias, yeah, no, that would track. He likes to know things. I think he gets off of knowing things.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, the Nos were always the ones that were mainly in charge of Shreknet before. I'm probably saying words you have no idea what they mean, but
I have no idea what these words are, but that's okay.
the Nosferatu were in charge of a secret network of information gathering and information dissemination. Yeah. Elias wasn't a computer person, but he sort of did the same thing with his brain, which is a lot slower than a computer. But I have to give him that. When the net fell, he didn't lose shit. I lost entire terabytes of data. Do you know how big a terabyte is?
No, I don't. Is it a lot?
It's like 1,000,000 times your phone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, something bad's going down, and if this trio, this wretched, is actually still... I mean, I don't know this, but my understanding is that Caleb was the Scourge and the Sheriff and a bunch of other titles all over the place. There's a lot of consolidation of power, all within him.
Whatever. They like them titles, I guess.
No, my point is I feel like he might have some sort of larger plan. I don't know if he got connected to this Val person or if he knew her before, but Val was a Sabbat too, so I don't know.
That's
feel like there
Artie's
might be
Big
some...
Bag Mama, right?
Yeah. Who's here? And some other guy, Mehmet, is the sire of the. There's there are these cabals of people, packs of people who are all a boat. So
Yeah.
I feel like something not great happening.
There were a lot of pilgrimages to Montreal before. I feel like that's just the new batch.
Be careful. I don't want anything to happen to you.
Huh.
The original Montreal people have to. We have to take care of each other.
Listen. Live and let live. But I think if you need me, you know where to find me.
Hey, live and let live. I gotta go pick up a package and find a place.
Listen,
You can text me.
if you find or if you found anything of Hetty down there, you would let me know, right? To at least know what happened to her.
What was your relationship with her?
We watched hockey a couple times together. She kind of knew that I was, into the whole information business. And I think she figured I was more trustworthy than the whale or the others. So.
I found her.
There's immediate worry on his face. You're bad at insight, but even you can pick it up.
She's not okay. I have to save her.
She became one of them.
And I'm gonna fix it. Somehow. I'm gonna fix it. Because
I hope, for your sake, that you can.
She gives life.
Yeah, she was
She's
a good
everything.
person. I mean,
of course she was.
All things considered,
One of the best.
We also do inflict violence upon people on a nightly basis, so, good and evil is relative.
I don't really see it that way, but that's all right.
Well, the kind see it that way.
Oh. So? Anyhow, they don't always know about secrets. They don't understand the world. Anyway.
No, they don't.
I'm gonna save her. If you have any way that you can help me with that, please let me know.
It's her and her pals. Maybe that dumbass who lives at the university. I know he does magic. He wasn't there too.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
He didn't have any friends. I wonder how he got the memo.
Wasn't he some sort of spy? For the Camarilla? Wasn't that the thing?
Oh yeah, like he told just about everyone right after the Night of Ashes.
Yeah, so
I figured it's just an excuse for him not to get staked.
Maybe. Or he's the one who called everything in. I don't know.
It would make sense if he's a Cammy boy.
Yeah, and maybe I can't say. He and I don't talk.
No, but if survival... I mean, speaking personally, right? If survival depended on me saying, sure, I was a Camarilla person. Yeah, I would probably say the same thing and then skip down the first chance I get.
Yeah. Hey, Melvin.
Yeah, what?
Just, if you can help, that would be great. If I can do anything more than that mirror thing, let me know. But it's time, Melvin, to stop just letting things happen. We have to stand for things, and we have to do whatever it takes to get those things done.
I need to make a note.
Gonna go, but I need you to know that I'm here. I'm gonna finish the work that started, and I'm going to kill anyone who needs to die in order for that to happen.
I'm not going to be in your way.
No, because you're on my side.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm gonna just like give him that look like we're friends. Like, yeah, Humanity 4. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I am
sort of-
friends with the guy who says out loud that he's gonna blow up the entire city.
Well, not the entire city, just the Camarilla.
But the
I'm gonna
Camarilla
give
is
him
the
like a-
city.
No, they're not.
Yeah, you were gonna
They're
give him
cancer
a...
on the city. A little fist bump, and head out after giving the thing. Go to the restaurant to pick up the package. Probably gonna need somebody to help me move it. I have Dominate to make sure someone who probably will not be too missed can help me move the package. And I'm gonna I got a package.
Yep,
assume
I
I've
will
got a-
ask you to make a rouse check though for the whole moving package around. To encompasses your use of dominate and amount of times you have to tell the person to shut up.
Sure. The cost is free though. For compel.
Well, then it's free, so never mind.
Yeah, I just need to get, because I have I'm kind of weak and I just need somebody to help me take this trunk where we need to go.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, getting a trunk to a theater is kind of normal.
yeah, but I'm going to take this human, into my haven.
Is he coming out?
Well, I suppose that depends. I'm going to unstake the Salubri.
Okay,
She might be hungry.
we're gonna do a thing.
That's my break.
Yes,
imagine
I
that's
like
the end
that.
of my
I
scene.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're all right with it, we are going to split the screen into 3.
Just move right on over.
We're gonna start first with an Edgar Wright type of montage of Flory, driving to Maine, hopping on a plane, landing in Paris. The flight is completely uneventful. The movie's kind of boring. Thing is, when you show up at like any Amarilla city, you kind of have to let your presence known, or at least like introduce yourself, because otherwise everything goes to shit. Paris has a very well-known Elysium, by the way, called the Garden. I don't know if you remember way back in season 1 when we talk about the jungle in Montreal, it was like their equivalent. The Garden is
It was a wannabe.
Well, the jungle was a wannabe, yes.
Yeah.
The Garden is like a royal palace. Like, it's Versailles, but for vampires.
Flory has been through Paris before.
You remember what the Garden is. So we'll split the screen to 3. All things happen simultaneously. On the one hand, I'm going to take control of the camera for the... On the one hand, we have a counterplan of basically from Dixon's point of view as he unstakes the Salubri, and Jesse just goes... All 3 eyes open at once. Top one begins to bleed a little. And she's going to jump at the camera. That's the black. Leaving Flurry for last. Arthur gets a text message from Valois. It says, we need to meet ASAP. Anarch territory. Olympic Stadium.
I see you found Mom.
And then in the middle, as you're typing your reply, Jesse shows up. We see Flory opening up the doors to the garden, stepping
She
inside.
changed on the plane to wear something appropriate
Oh,
to the
yeah,
garden.
yeah, you're not dressed with your like I went to the Shadowlands suit. As you regally enter, ready to make your presence known, the rotunda is covered in blood. There are bones and ashes on the ground. And in the blood, basically like, someone wiped it off to write words such as flee, save yourselves, Paris has fallen. And we're gonna end tonight there. I told you I had a plan for Paris.
I think it's that moment of like she's pushed the doors open. She like pushes the door open, looks around, and just sighs. She just like has that moment of has the hand on the door and just goes.
Look on the bright side, you don't have to introduce yourself to the prince now.
And I don't have to piss off Vion. That man is not as bad as Mithras, but he's cranky.
Though, considering what has happened in Paris, you might be able to piss on Vion.
I don't wanna.
Except if you mix Vion with that, you can make soap out of him. If he's been dusted. We'll see.
Somebody is still undead. They've been painting shit on walls.
And for those in the audience who don't know, the package I picked up is another body.
Another
I
white.
have
Yeah.
another white. I've got a bunch of whites that I've been collecting in various parts of the city, and I want to get them all in one place because you want to keep a track of your.
I love the captions though.
whites.
Every time we talk about that. Earlier you just said I need to restore the whites, and it's just like Zoom has social commentary that is very wrong, but at the same time very hilarious.
I'm just gonna get my last body probably tomorrow. Be fine. Mm-hmm.
Christmas is in 2
Dead
days
body.
in game, y'all.
Well,
I don't know why I said that.
Technically for Flory, it's tomorrow.
Yep. We're gonna try not to go too much into jet lag.
so I take it that Flory's not going to be having a nice spa day, just hanging out in Paris. I suppose. I guess it's not.
You can. You just have to clean the spa first. I think someone died in it.
I can go to a couple of. I'll go to Elizabeth Arden.
Oh,
I'll just go to the
you're in
Elizabeth
Europe.
Arden.
Literally, the time it takes for me to drive to work in the morning is the time it would take for you to cross the entire country by car.
Not quite, but
Close.
Take the train instead.
Everything is so fucking tiny over there.
no, she has a bunch of phone calls to make to family and say, FYI, France is fucked. Stay out. That's what she's doing.
Do you remember Aziz?
Mm-hmm. She's kind of concerned about that.
Yeah, he was in France when it happened.
Yep. That's another person she's going to try and find.
I'm just unsticking a salubri. It's cool. But I brought a snack.
Oh, she, by the way, we'll do that right away. She'll drain the human, she won't kill him. Even though she is super thirsty, she seems to regain her composure like that. Which, I mean, salubri and shit.
I suppose
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Chat next week.
Yeah, I know we ended a bit early last time. I told you all anyway. I knew we were gonna bust this week, of course. So I hope you've enjoyed it. This was our mid-season point, which there was a lot of reveals that Well, the Paris one, I wasn't sure if y'all would ever, like, have contact over there. In my mind, I thought maybe at some points Almighty would go, or you would ask him to go on your behalf.
Well, she tried to call Paris twice.
Yeah.
Weird, you
And-
didn't get any answer, huh? Now I
That's
guess we
actually
know
not.
why.
No, she wasn't actually surprised by that, because remembering who Vion is, he doesn't like anybody who's not A, French, and B, blue butt, nobility. So he tolerates Ravnos, but he doesn't like Ravnos. So she was like, okay, it's gonna take a while to get an answer. But yeah, she did try to talk to them.
So, peeps, as we close this session, can you remind everyone who you are, where we can find you, what you've got going on? If you want to share the love, I will very quickly need to check because the cats have been fighting crazy. So I'm still listening, but go ahead. I'll be back on camera in a sec.
Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope World Build on the internets. If you want to see more of this silly face, you get an opportunity on Sunday over on PAX Thesmophoria as we return with more Mass Effect The Gathering Dark. They're on Tuchanka. They have a series of quests. Yes, quests. To complete from their quest journal.
Mission
All of-
log. It's a
yeah,
mission log.
Mission log. There's two for Tuchanka so far. And one of them involves a just nice tidy jaunt into a pre-Krogan Civil War era hospital that has automated defenses and other things. And that is all in preparation to trade info, gear, and goods for more gear and goods because they have to distract a Thresher Malt. Minimum 3 minutes. So that'll be fun. And then come back here on Monday for more of this as for a moment there Artie was having a heart attack and his heart is dead. So that was fun. But I am just the story is so good. I just look like we have this amazing moment of even though Lindy is not here, Folly is present. And the setting up like hyperfixates to create an entire user manual. And now we have texting Dixon again. Don't know for how long, but we have texting Dixon again.
But it's not T9. I have to get used to it. But the BlackBerry has like a full keyboard, so that's fine.
It should increase the speed, in theory.
I just wonder how long it'll take for it to break.
We need to get
The
a
last
really
time-
good case.
Last time, the first one was broken by Flory, and the second one he gave back. So he's not actually broken any phones personally.
Lori didn't break the phone.
Yeah, because it was compromised. So it was like a
Oh
after the
yeah,
Montreal situation.
yeah, that was fun.
So
Well, I
No.
don't know if it was compromised. You're like, you just can't have this phone anymore. Boom, broke it, and then
Well,
gave him the new one.
there was evidence that it was compromised, and she got rid of her own at the same time. So
It was after the Montreal rampage is when you broke it.
So yeah, there's that beautiful interchange, and now like all the lines are converging, and there is a lot of things in Dixon's court, and it'll be interesting to see how he deals with them, especially now that one of the whites has been awakened.
This one was never a white though. We have two
Well-
people who are non-whites. The Salubri
Well-
and the Zimish are not whites. They're just
Yeah.
staked.
Well, somebody who hadn't fed in a while got up, and that that has significant ramifications and reveals I'm sensing as we go along. And we had to have a beautiful conversation that was just absolutely hilarious with Tripper and Simon about furries. That was one of the most awkward conversations I have ever borne witness to. That was impressive. And then this beautiful moments with Flory, having that moment of one professional appreciating another professional and their work, and then just the full on Flory Stark of I don't want what you want. No, I'm perfectly fine with him being flayed. that
He can die horribly.
That was fantastic. And then, of course, it is Flory who is now full on HBO reveal in the ashes of Paris. No other friends, nobody. Just this lone Ravnos bearing witness to this all, which is so poetic on so many different levels, between surviving the week of nightmares, being the clan that wanders and carries stories, all of this culminating in this beautiful moment. We all these characters are stereotypes, just not in the way that you think. And it is so beautiful that it continues in such an epic fashion. And thank you all for being here and sharing those moments with us, whether live, VOD, YouTube. A story is nothing without its audience. You're much part of this as we are. Take care of yourselves and one another, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Hey everybody, I'm your friendly neighborhood Prax at Donlan on Twitter, Praxgorth as before. You see me around here on Twitch, Praxabard on Instagram, Hive, and Blue Sky. And thank you again. I love this story. I love the complexity of how everything goes. I love the little moments that showcase the not lack of humanity, that's the wrong term, but the otherness of each of the characters. The Flory's just very simple. It's like, I don't care. Would you like me to flay him? I can flay him. I don't care if she kills him. I care if she gets his information. I don't care if she kills him. That's it. I want to inconvenience her. I'm okay with him dying. But I also loved the little moments of Artie just trying to hold it all together. And every step on this whole night was just him seeing more and more and more of the dragon coming out from underneath. Somebody woke that sleeping dragon, and we're gonna see what happens. And I'm hopeful that things are gonna go well. Also, the entire culmination of just I'm gonna kill everybody moment for Dixon. It's just you're in my way, you are now dead. And I'm like, yay!
Just the bad
dark
people.
Side.
Just the Camarilla.
Really though? Because you said anybody who got in your way.
Well, yeah, but we don't kill the people who were originally here from Montreal. Just the new people. We're just gonna kill them.
Mm-hmm. You can come join us on the dark side. It's fine. We have cookies.
I feel like I have the lowest humanity out of all the folks here. I'm just noting that one. I feel like I can't join you in the dark side because I feel like you probably have the most humanity. Actually, no, but I think actually Artie does.
Artie does.
Point is,
I am the high. People that I know that I talk to about this campaign are still in having feelings and very strong opinions about Zamish being the highest humanity out of the coterie.
I would like to point out that Flory is close. She is a thought.
It's like the
But-
word turned upside down.
That's a whole great album. We should listen to it.
But anyway,
but
I'll
anyways,
talk about it.
Anyways, you can find me next on Saturday, now that my computer is fixed, for more book chats and fun discussions. And then Sunday, as I get to play and let Pope run the game for more Mass Effect: The Gathering Dark. And that's me. That's it. I'll see you all next time.
And I'm Trooper SJP. Woo! And I have been playing Dixon, who is a very low humanity person whose whole mission in life is to protect people. And now he just does that through murder. Before he would do it less murder, but now more murder. This is lovely. I want to say I really enjoyed just, I thought that Prax's like shifting of accent, right, is always so important. And there's like this little subtlety of which accent she uses at which time, and I just love that. So excellent. Artie. Cassandra. Right? This is the thing. Artie has been telling people these things since day one, but because he said it too many times, nobody believes him. But he's not wrong, right? Like, I mean, she is here and she's not nice. So, like, it's that kind of thing where the Cassandra of Artie, and I just couldn't help but think when he talking to her, he still loves her. You know what I mean? Like, that's a very complicated relationship. And I feel bad because I'm going to kill his mom or encourage him to do it. I don't know. We'll find out. But we'll all die. Really can't say. But I like to sort of say that we're going to kill the people. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. We might all just die. But, you got to talk yourself up. And, of course, I want to give love to Simon because I could see it. The evil GMIs where he's like, all the things are coming together. I'm so happy. I just saw it. And you can, for my RPGs, the next RPG you can find me at is on my channel at 7 p.m. Eastern at Trooper SJP for our Gamblers Pirates of Drynex campaign. And, I do other stuff, but you can find me on my channel if you like. But this is a great crew of people, lovely folks. I love all the folks in the audience giving love. And that's me. I'm going to toss it over to our storyteller.
Thank you. First of all, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for all the fun in chat, all the follows, all the things, all the raids. Thank you, Hawkeye, for coming by as usual. Thank you, players, for taking time off of your Monday nights to come finish playing Vampire with me. And yeah, I was going to say something earlier, and I completely blanked out now.
Was it about the giant mess you left in Paris?
It was something related to Paris.
Blood, guts.
Oh, themes, yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of, like, similarities to themes from 5th edition or even prior editions of Vampire that I really enjoyed, that I've sort of built in, and things that happen in the game that basically call back to certain other things. I try. We'll see how well it works or not. But yeah, I mean, right now, for what you know, Flory has free reign of Paris. For what you know. I mean, Paris is a big city, but still. We'll see next week, I guess. And yeah, finding me, boy. There might not be a Scion this weekend because I just realized I have a scheduling conflict. So we'll see. But they are in the underworld. They are now moved. They have just landed into Jigoku, which means that they're going to experience the fun time in the Ami underworld, and see what happens as the godlings are inching closer and closer to full godhood. This is another campaign that is on its last arc. It's going to be some fun stuff coming up on the channel after. I'm still building to it, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But thank you so much for coming, everyone. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Also, my cat keeps whining.